Okay, I got a question on Mazda626.net from JPJR, or Junior, JP Junior I guess, 21, who wants to know how to modify the ignition key light disc into his 9697. I don't know if it's only some or all 9697s that did not come with the ignition key light disc. My guess is all, because I don't find any mention to it in the 97 wiring diagram. So what I'm going to do is show him, and you, if you own a 9697, how to modify your 9697 to accommodate an ignition key light disc. So the first thing that you want to do is find a column cover. It's the top piece and the bottom piece from a 93 to 95, and that's going to have the little ignition key light part. It's going to have the little green disc in it. Now he says that his 97 has the cutout for it, but it just doesn't have the harness or the bulb. Follow this, and this is going to get plugged into a wiring harness back here for your combination light switch, and that is this. This is known as your combination light switch. Combination switch. If something goes wrong with your lights or you need to replace that, you can shop on Rock Auto for a combination switch. It's also known as a multi-function switch. I believe Rock Auto calls that a multi-function switch. As you can see here, it plugs right into the column and goes back inside the column, so if you're going to ever replace that, you basically have to take off your entire steering wheel and all that, but we're not interested in that. What we're interested in is the actual harness. It is really hard to see where this wire goes. It goes from the bulb here, wraps and goes through the column and comes out right here on this end, and then goes right into the bottom of the combination switch or multifunction switch, and it gets power there. The tube for the multifunction switch is hollow, and the wire goes right inside of the multifunction switch, so it's part of that. And then the other part would lead inside of your column somewhere, and I don't know exactly where. I've never taken mine apart to that effect. And then from there it goes all the way down and is routed into your joint box. More specifically, it gets power from your room fuse, not ELUM. Illumination is mostly the interior lighting, yes, but this one specifically gets power from the 15 amp room fuse of your secondary fuse box, or breakout fuse box, known by many names, and I call them many different names. The 15 amp room fuse gets power from the main fuse box under the hood. So that's how that circuit is routed. You don't have to disassemble a 93-95 column. All you will need is that lead so that you can plug into the column cover. And then you can run your own wiring from here down to the joint box, or more specifically JB04 in the back of the joint box, and I'll show you where that is. Now, I'm just answering a question, so obviously this is all theory. I am not going to actually demonstrate how to do this on my car, or basically this is how I would go about doing it. So we've got our handy dandy 97 wiring diagram, and just to show you that my theory is correct, here are the courtesy lights. Alright, here's the courtesy lights. These are your door courtesy lights, and they go directly to the door switches. So you got your switch inside your door there, so when the door opens it sends power to the courtesy light that's on your door there, and that power comes from, there's a harness that runs through the door and then gets powered directly by JB04 right here, joint box 04. So we want to find JB04. Now, unfortunately, this diagram is not available online yet. This is page Z104 of the 97 wiring diagram. So what we want to do is go to the back, and on page Z157 you will see this is your joint box. And this is the front of your joint box, as you are all familiar with, and this is the back of the joint box. And there is what we want to plug into. Focus. And on that harness, that's going to be JB104 rear harness. You want to plug right there, right in the middle, where that yellow and red L/R, which is going to be yellow with a yellow wire with a red stripe, and that would be pin J. So you want to take your power wire from the bulb and run that down to the back and plug in right there on pin J, which is a yellow with a red stripe. It should be right in the middle, as long as it's orientated in that fashion. And then you can just ground the other side to anywhere that you like. Just find a post or a terminal or some metal up here. What I usually do to ground accessories, power accessories that I have inside, like my halogen lighting, interior halogen lighting, and things like that. But you just put a bolt through and put a nut on the other side, and I just use that as a ground post, because that's a nice chunk of metal there. That's not aluminum. I think that's iron or steel, something like that. So JP, that's basically what I would do. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass getting that joint box off. I mean, it's just one panel clip, but to pull it off without disturbing any wiring, that's a tricky affair. I hope that helps you, and if it does, please let me know how it goes. I would be very interested to see that kind of modification, and I hope that in the future you get that modification going and you shed some light on your issue. Ha ha. Cool.